Chang announced that the JLP is in election mode. Taxi operator charged for killing Jerky in Negril. Top contract killer taken out by the Westmoreland police. Speid says Cavalier is not afraid of Inter Miami with Lionel Messi. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. King Charles has met Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau under the shadow of inflammatory statements made about Canada by U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump has repeatedly spoken of making the neighboring country the 51st state of America. He has also vowed to impose new import taxes on Canada, one of U.S. top trading partners. And ahead of this meeting with the King at Sandrington, outgoing Prime Minister Trudeau said he would discuss issues of importance to Canadians, including standing up for their sovereignty and independence as a nation. The King has also extended an invitation to Trump to visit him in what will be an unprecedented second state visit. General Secretary of the governing Jamaica Labour Party, Dr. Horace Chang, said that the party is in election mode. Speaking at a party meeting in Rock River in Clarendon on Sunday evening, Dr. Chang indicated that the JLP will be ramping up campaign activities over the coming weeks. The general election is due by September of this year. Meanwhile, the JLP General Secretary has challenged the latest RJR Gleaner commissioned Don Anderson poll, which showed the JLP trailing the opposition PNP. The poll conducted late in January to February showed a tightening of the race since the September 2024 survey. Some 35.4% of the registered electorate said they would vote for the PNP if the general parliamentary elections was called now, compared with 30.7% who said they would vote for the JLP. But Dr. Chang said the polls are sending mixed signals to the electorate. He cited another result which showed the PNP and the JLP locked in a statistical dead heat in terms of which party the electorate believes would be a better job of running the country for the next 5 years. In that poll, 34% voted in favor of the JLP as against 32% for the PNP. But Mr. Chang seems to be very concerned about the polls, forgetting that polls don't really vote. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is holding the High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to its word that it is acquiring additional body-worn cameras. INDECOM Commissioner Hugh Faulkner says during the last consultation on internal process with Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake, he accepted that there is a direct drive to acquire the cameras. He said with 59 fatal police shootings so far this year, the 189 which was recorded last year could be surpassed quickly. And if 189 persons were killed in 2024 in police fatal shootings for the entire year, at this rate, there would have to be a drastic reduction for us to fall under that number, said the INDECOM commissioner. Well, what we have seen is the police is on a mission of getting rid of the worst, as every time the gunmen go to court for murdering people, the judge just slap them on the wrist and say, go home and behave yourself, and then they just come out and kill some more people. Well, the police are now on a mission to prevent that and is sending them all to a place called Peace Perfect Peace. Some try to run, but they don't get far, as the officers are getting tips as to where to find them. The police in Westmoreland have charged a taxi operator who last Wednesday fatally chopped a popular jerk vendor during a dispute over fare at the Negril bus park. Shadwayne Ellis, a 36-year-old of Geneva District in Grange Hill, Westmoreland, was charged with murder on Saturday, and his court date is now being finalized. And reports from the police are that about 3 p.m. on February 26, Mr. Ellis and Rodway Powell, otherwise called Jerky, got into an argument that became physical. And this was due to Jerky putting a bag of coal into the taxi, which caused it to dirty up the taxi on their way to Negril. When asked to remove it, Jerky refused. And it is said that Jerky was always pushing badness, and when they reached Negril, the taxi operator charged Jerky an extra $100 and held onto his change. But Jerky decided not to pay and demanded his change and pulled a knife. And it was reported that Jerky pulled the car keys from the taxi driver and held onto the keys to Mr. Ellis' taxi. In an attempt to retrieve the keys, the taxi operator pulled a machete from the back of his vehicle. And it is said Jerky attempted to attack the taxi driver, but the driver gave Jerky a severe chop wound to the upper body before driving away. Powell, otherwise called Jerky, died while being treated at hospital, and Mr. Ellis was then taken into custody and subsequently charged after being questioned in the presence of his attorney. And so it is, a man died for $100. Over the weekend, police took out a top contract killer in Westmoreland. Contract killer known as Grabber Dog was taken out by the police in a shootout in Moreland Hill area, and it is said he was a vicious top killer and would kill for as little as $10,000. Well, it is said police were patrolling the area when they spotted him traveling on a motorcycle and he was signaled to stop. But being used to just shoot innocent, unarmed victims, he decided to shoot it out with trained police officers who returned fire. And it is said the shootout lasted for a while, but in the end, Grabber Dog was shot and killed. And it is said people in the surrounding areas of Little London, Moreland Hill, Delftland, Broughton, and other districts close by are now breathing a sigh of relief that Grabber Dog is no more. On to sports. We are still waiting to hear if the Referees Association and the Jamaica Footballers Association have settled their difference so Premier League can be resumed. The referees are owed some $50 million and said that they feel disrespected and taken for granted as their word for payments were ignored and they could not continue and have now gone on strike, causing the top football competition to come to a halt. And up to last night, we heard no information on what is happening with the negotiations. Meanwhile, Cavalier FC sporting director Rodolphe Speid is confident that his players will not be intimidated when they face Inter Miami in the first leg of their CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16 game at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale on Thursday. The Cavalier delegation departed the Norman Manley International Airport on Monday afternoon for that game. Inter Miami's squad comprises Lionel Messi, widely regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time, as well as former Barcelona star Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, and Sergio Busquets. Despite the challenge, Speid said his squad is embracing the underdog role and is determined to put up a strong fight. Speid said, I heard somebody saying that Cavaliers is going to get 9 love or 10 love and all sort of love, but they don't have a clue what is going to happen, he said. This is a team that whenever we are the underdogs, that is when we come good, and that is what I'm expecting in this game on Thursday. Well, the ball is round, anything can happen, but if Cavaliers come and don't play good, that 10 could very well be the score. Now, if you missed the news on this station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep us going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.